TIF. So thank God it's Friday. We made it through the week online, and we're getting a lot better at this. I feel like when we log on and when we get through our assignments, we actually get more knowledgeable about this and how to use our Teams app. And you see here, we have a student already popping up asking questions. So everybody's engaged on Teams. It's working out. It's really fun actually. So and for today, this week, I did want to finish it off by explaining FRQ number 3. FRQ number 3 was all about explaining Harold's alcohol and sleep problems. But before we get to answering that question, I want to set up some norms. I hope that you've been watching these videos. I will keep posting the video lessons so that way you guys know how to answer the previous FRQ, and that way we are all working together, and we actually are moving the ball forward. So another thing that has come up to mind is that when submitting the assignments, right, it has become a little, I guess, a little bit of a mess because people are submitting via email, pictures, people are submitting through Teams. Other people are wondering what to do and how to submit. So I did want to take the time to reflect on that. I want you guys to, from now on, from here on forward, if you have not submitted anything at all, this does not regard students who already submitted assignments. This message is for students who have not submitted anything at all. I want you to start submitting through Teams. Now, once we start next week with FRQ number 4 practice, then I need everybody to start uploading onto Teams. I no longer want anybody to be writing their responses. I want you guys to type the responses. The AP exam will be online and you need to type the response, so I want you to start practicing with your typing as well. With that being said, let's just go ahead and jump right into answering yesterday's question. So remember, when answering the FRQ, you just simply need to define and then you need to relate that certain term to what is going on. In this one question, we didn't have too much going on, although there was a lot of explanation to touch base on. So check it out. It says, Part A. Harold has consumed an excess of alcohol. He finds that his coordination is failing and that he cannot walk a straight line. He also finds that he has difficulty touching his finger to his nose. Awesome. So we have two things to do here. It says explain what category of drug alcohol falls into and why. And then explain what portion of the brain is likely impacted by the use of alcohol. Well, awesome. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Harold is drinking alcohol, which is a central nervous system depressant. We said that alcohol was a depressant throughout the year when we covered this. So remember, alcohol is a depressant, so just define it. In addition to reducing his coordination, he may experience slurred speech and memory loss. So we're explaining why alcohol is a depressant. What kind of features do we see in a person that makes it a depressant that we know is a depressant? So in this condition, well, he would have slurred speech and memory loss. Perfect. So moving on to the second component here, it says, explain what portion of the brain is impacted. If you remember, we covered the cerebellum being the one that facilitates movement. It's in the back of the head. So we did talk about it. I hope you remember this. If not, it's a great time to start reviewing. So this is the way to answer that portion. The cerebellum is the area of the brain that is associated with coordination and incorporating muscle movement. Alcohol depresses the activity in the cerebellum, which inhibits its functioning, resulting in the lack of coordination and fine motor movement. So we just simply define what a cerebellum is, and we define or we explain how it relates to what is going on with Harold. So part B here. Part B says, Harold falls asleep immediately, but does not sleep very well because the alcohol is interfering with his sleep. Three things to do here. How might Harold's drinking impact REM rebound? When Harold does finally fall into deep sleep, what will his brainwaves look like? And what are these brainwaves called? Now, the third part is what are the characteristics of dream sleep and what is this stage of sleep called? Awesome. So we know that when we do dream, this stage is called the rapid eye movement stage. So it's the REM sleep stage. So when we do address the dream sleep, all they're wanting us to explain is the REM sleep or the REM stage of sleep and what it's about and how it relates to Harold. Now, when we talk about the when Harold falls asleep, right, and what the brain waves will look like, this will look like very slow, deep, long delta waves. The delta waves are the waves that are associated with the NREM stage number 3. So that's the non-rapid eye movement stage number 3, in which we produce delta waves, and we are a lot closer to REM sleep, where we are actually completely dead asleep dreaming. So let's go ahead and answer this part B. Alcohol can often interfere with REM sleep. Harold may experience REM sleep after drinking, but because this is an essential part of sleep, he will likely make up for it over the next few nights by spending more time than usual in REM sleep. This is known as a REM rebound and will facilitate memory consolidation. So basically, when you do not go into REM sleep, let's say you don't sleep very well today, tomorrow or the following day, you will go into what is called REM rebound, where you stay in REM sleep a lot longer to make up for the loss of sleep the previous day. So that's why a lot of times when people abuse alcohol, they sleep so much that the following day. Now, the second part to part B. This is how we would answer. When Harold finally falls into a deep sleep, he experiences deep, long, slow delta waves. This indicates he's in NREM stage 3 sleep. And then finally, for part B, dream sleep is often referred to as REM sleep, which stands for rapid eye movement. The name is reflective of the heightened nervous system activity that occurs during this stage. When Harold experiences this stage of sleep, he will weave stories out of the images, thoughts, and experiences he has had in the last few days. Now, in order to conclude this session, this video lesson today, part C says, for a number of years, Harold has been suffering from sleep disorders. Explain the symptoms Harold may experience because of these sleep disorders. So they want us to talk about sleep apnea and somnambulism. That is just a sleepwalking, so don't get confused or thrown off by the term. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. So to talk about sleep apnea, this is how we would do it. If Harold suffers from sleep apnea, he would likely feel tired during the day because he does not get enough deep sleep during the night. This problem occurs because he stops breathing hundreds of times over the course of the night, wakes up, and never experiences deep sleep. So, sleep apnea is when an individual just keeps waking themselves. Do not forget that. And the second component to part C here. If Harold is suffering from somnambulism or sleepwalking, he will be sleepwalking. When Harold walks in his sleep, he is in stage 3 or deep sleep during this stage. He is experiencing a deep sleep delta wave. While Harold will most likely not remember walking in his sleep, he will be tired during the day. Harold may also wake up in a different part of the house and not remember how he got there. So, remember, when we work on the FRQs, we just want to do two things. We want to define the term they're asking us to, and then relate it to the scenario that they gave us. Do not overthink it. Do not try to give more than what you're being asked, because oftentimes these responses are supposed to be very technically written and very short. So another thing that I want to remind you is that you do not have an FRQ for today. So you're welcome. Today, just enjoy the day. Catch up with all your other courses that you have work for. And if you have not finished FRQ 1, 2, or 3, make sure that you submit them before Saturday at 11:59 p.m. because that is the deadline. So thank you very much for stopping and have yourselves a great weekend.